This one might be a little controversial. Alright guys, so I'm back with Jaws 2, and, well, as my intro might imply, I might have a couple things to say about this movie that maybe hardcore fans of the Jaws franchise, or hardcore fans of Jaws 2, if this is your favorite Jaws sequel, or it's your favorite Jaws movie in general, these people may not, if they ever even come across my video, may not even, or they may not agree with what I have to say, and they'll probably start to dislike me as a human being, because that's the society we live in. If we have opinions that defer to somebody else's, the knee-jerk reaction is to automatically dislike them as a human being. So, yay, society. But I'm going to go ahead and say this. I like Jaws 2 quite a bit. I like the movie. But I do have my issues with the movie. I have issues with the movie, but I have a lot of nice things to say about the movie, too. So we're going to go ahead and get into that. I got the notebook. Like I said, I'm getting back into the habit of using the notebook. It helps me. Alright, so I want to start with music this time, and I believe they got John Williams. They did get John Williams to come back, and I'm actually really surprised by that. Because I kind of I kind of thought if Steven Spielberg was kind of opting out to do this movie, because Steven Spielberg didn't want to do the sequel. They tried to get him to come back to do the sequel. He's like, I already made the premier shark movie. I don't need to do a sequel to it. I would kind of think that that would incentivize John Williams to not come back either, but he did. And the music in this movie is great. It's just as good as it was in the first film. There's just some new pieces of music that sound really good, especially the opening titles. When the Jaws 2 logo appears, that piece of music right there sounds really intense and really atmospheric, and I believe John Williams knocks it out of the park with the music in this movie. So John Williams, that's definitely a positive for this film. Now the storyline. So basically the storyline is kind of similar to the first. Jaws. A shark kind of shows up and starts wreaking havoc on Amity Island again, and Chief Brody does pretty much is going to do what he did in the first film. So it's kind of a rehash of the first film as far as the storyline, but we get some new stuff, we get some new characters, we get returning characters, not the same actors, some of them, like Chief Brody's kids, they are returning characters, but we get Roy Scheider back, we get Murray Hamilton back, we get Laureen Gary back, we get quite a few actors back. I think, yeah, we get the guy that plays Hendrix back, the guy that plays the dentist in Halloween 2, we get him back as well. So it's nice, and I like that it was shot in the same town. It feels, what this movie does a really good job at is the continuity between Jaws 1 and Jaws 2. They make it feel connected. Even the orca at the beginning of the film, when the divers go down and examine the orca and the shark, that's when you first see the shark. The shark comes out and eats both of them. And I dropped my fucking notebook. Yay. Hopefully I didn't lose my page. Nope. Yeah, when the divers get eaten by the shark when they're examining the orca, it was good to see the orca back. It's obviously underwater. If you'd seen the first film, you would definitely know that. And it's just the whole, just everything about Jaws 2 feels like, it's kind of like the Halloween 1 and Halloween 2. You can watch them back to back. Even though Halloween 1's a great movie and Halloween 2 I used to like, but I loathe it now. But they feel like you could watch them back to back, and it feels organic in the sense of continuity and whatnot. So they do a really good job at making this movie feel connected to the first film. They make it kind of feels like a double feature a little bit. So yeah, the story is pretty similar to Jaws 1, except in the third act, where instead of people going out to hunt the shark, it's a bunch of kids sailing, and the shark happens to get hungry around that time and notices that they're around and tries to find himself a snack amongst those teens. But yeah, other than that, the story is relatively similar. The acting. Now, the acting in Jaws 1, all of it was perfect. The acting goes from great performances from like Roy Scheider and Maureen Gary and Murray Hamilton, all these great performances, and then you get unbearable acting from the guy that plays Michael. I actually researched it. He never acted again after this movie. He is pitiful. Oh god, his acting is so bad. He's so over dramatic. He gives an over dramatic response to everything he's asked. So he's asked the question, "Yeah, I'm going sailing. You guys want to come out on my boat?" It's just, oh, the acting from him is so bad. And the kids I mean, we do get Keith Gordon from Christine, who, well, he wasn't amazing in Jaws 2. He definitely stuck out in a good way in Christine, but he was good in Jaws 2, and I am a fan of Keith Gordon and his work. The girl that Michael is trying to get in the pants of, her acting is fine, but her haircut is just, she's got a really bad haircut. The curly-headed guy that's friends with Michael, I enjoyed his performance, and I think that his character was a very good friend to Michael, and kind of looked after his brother when when he hit his head on the thing and almost got eaten by the shark and all that, but his little brother stayed with him, and I kind of felt like he did a good job of looking out after him, and I did like that guy, and the rest of the kids, I know one of them was the son of the mayor, but he didn't really do all that much. I mean, he was very short fused. That's about as much as I could say about his character. There's really not a lot of character development among the kids. But where the character development, where it is mainly focused in is Chief Brody, played by Roy Scheider, who I honestly think that while he was great in Jaws 1, Robert Shaw kind of stole the show. This is where I think Roy Scheider steals the show. This is kind of him coming back to steal the show, essentially, and outact everybody. And he really does. He really, really does in the movie. And I really liked Roy Scheider in this movie just a lot. There are some things about his character in this movie, though, that really irk me. And this is where I'm getting into the stuff that people may not like. And I know that this movie had a troubled production, and something caused a fist fight between Roy Scheider and the director. But there were things that Chief Brody was doing, and things that he was doing in this movie that really pissed me off a little bit, because I know that from the first film, his character isn't that stupid. And one of the things that he does is he makes ammunition for his revolver and puts cyanide in it. And then when he goes to the beach and he thinks that the shark is swimming up on the beach to, feast on some human beings, they don't do anything to confirm that is a great white shark approaching the beach, and he starts shooting bullets full of cyanide at a school of bluefish. And you could argue that is where the PTSD from the first film is starting to kind of, take its course on him, but I just don't really see Chief Brody doing that. I don't see his character being that stupid, and it ultimately costs him his job. I'm stumbling on my words today, my mouth won't let me talk. Yeah, it costs him his job. He causes a panic on the beach, and it costs him his job. I do think that is a little unfair to him, given what he has done for the town and these greedy politicians that just sit at the town hall and talk bullshit and talk about how much money they're fucking making. That's what I would imagine these guys do, but when he goes down to the town hall and tries to convince them that there is another shark, you would think that they would be more inclined to believe what he's saying given his experience. He knows what a shark, he pops this picture. The writing here is really bad. He pops the picture up on the table at the town hall. It's clearly a shark's mouth. Clearly. The guy looks at it. Seaweed? And it's like, you can't be for real. It's nothing. It's clearly a shark's mouth. There's the outline, there's the teeth. That is clearly a shark's mouth. So I kind of felt the writing was a little bit poor there. And I don't believe that these people are that dumb that they cannot make out that that's a shark's mouth. I mean, it almost makes, they try to paint Chief Brody, he's kind of losing his mind a little bit, but he seems like he's the only sane person amongst this fucking circus of idiots. So, I don't know if that's really bad writing, or it's just, I don't know, commentary on how dumb people can be and how dumb society is. I don't know. To me, it just didn't really sit well, because I could see, upon first glance, that is clearly a shark's mouth. There's no, the seaweed? Huh? No, that's not, it wasn't fucking seaweed, but, another thing that Chief Brody's character, though, does in this movie that really irks me, that I know that his character is not this stupid from the first film, is that they're going out on the boat. They discovered that their kids took off sailing when they weren't supposed to, and the shark had already attacked Tina and Eddie, and ate Eddie. And they come up on Tina's boat, and they find her. She's in total shock, and the acting's not really that great from her. But that's my opinion. But Chief Brody wants to know where he starts kind of gathering some ideas where the kids could be headed, and he asks Hendrix where it is that he's going, where the kids could potentially be going. And Hendrix, who knows what he's doing, is offering to put it into the thing or whatever, and then I don't know what you would call that. I don't work on boats, but Chief Brody says, "Oh, don't fucking give me that shit, just point." And then he points, and then he takes off. It's like, it is really, really, really easy to lose your bearings on the ocean. You don't know how easily you could get lost out there. I would think that in this situation, when it's involving my child, both of my children, that I would want to know exactly where they're going, and even if there is a killer shark that somehow is taking this all personally, even though sharks don't take things personally, but I'd want to know where my children, exactly where they're going, not just point into some direction and just hopefully fucking stumble across it up the road here, or up the water here, rather. It's really easy to get lost out in the ocean, and I just think that was a really stupid writing decision on the writing team, because I just don't feel like they know Chief Brody's character. He's not that much of an idiot. Yeah, he's an alcoholic, but, not all alcoholics are morons. So yeah, that just always really bugged me. You could really get lost out there. But some things I did like about the movie, though. The shark itself, I'm not big on the burnt look, the burnt face. I don't know what it is. It just never sat well with me. But the shark is way more mean in this movie than he is in the first one. He's a lot meaner because he gets a lot more screen time, obviously. But I definitely think it would have benefited if maybe the first time we saw the shark was when Tina and Eddie get attacked by the shark. That to me should have been the first time we saw the shark. That would have given the film time to build suspense and whatnot, but they didn't go that route, and it's fine. I did really like the water skier scene, and I actually had to go. I went and researched it. on my last viewing, and it turned out that sharks can swim like 35, 40 mile an hour in the ocean. Like, wow. So if that thing's coming at you, that thing can swim a lot faster than you can. Just wow. They book it, man. But I really like the water ski scene. I think that one of the more iconic scenes in that or shots in that scene is when you see her water ski and then the fin pops up off to the side. And yeah, that's really pretty scary shit, man. That scene definitely got a jump out of me when I was a kid because I was not expecting that fin to come popping up out of the surface. But he eats the water skier, and it's pretty scary. But then we get into some questionable writing here. Well, I don't even know if it's questionable. Yeah, I'd say probably questionable writing where the shark attacks the girl driving the boat. I don't know if that's like her sister or her mother or what. It looked like her mother. But she's driving the boat, and the shark attacks. And this is, I guess, her idea of self-defense against a 25, 30-foot great white shark is to pour gasoline on herself on the boat and shoot it with some sort of, it looked like some old-fashioned pistol, ultimately causing her to blow herself up. Okay. That's an interesting way. That's some interesting problem-solving skills, I will admit. Very interesting problem-solving skills. And I guess it did technically solve the problem. I mean, it did end up with her giving up her life for absolutely zero reason. But, hey, I guess it's alright. Sure. But ultimately, I did enjoy the scene quite a bit. And I gotta give it to the girl that takes Sean Brody out on her boat, for putting herself in danger and costing her life just to save Sean. I would even consider her the hero of the movie just for that. I mean, she gave her life for that kid. And I gotta say, that was well done, and it was actually very effective. Very, very, very effective. This movie does have a little bit more, or no, not a little bit more. I don't think this movie is as bloody as the first movie. There is some bloody scenes, but I think this movie really lacks in the gore department versus the first one. But that's just me. And I never really understood where the shark came from. So I understood the shark in the first movie, and in my personal opinion, the shark in the first film was this force of nature. It wasn't just some big shark that happened to show up and start eating people. I personally believe there is a lot of prehistoric history with that shark, and it was more of a monster than it was a shark. There's actually a video online about, the video is called "What is Bruce?" and it's a very thought-provoking video, and I would definitely you'll know it, the thumbnail. It's a very, very I don't know if he drew it himself or he found it on the internet, but the thumbnail is the guy in the pond who got devoured. It's the shark attacking him. Go find that video and watch it. It is an excellent video. It's called "What is Bruce?" That's kind of where my belief of Bruce, that's where it was before I saw that video. But I never really understood where this shark comes from. Some say that the shark was able to, and this shark was able to communicate with the shark from the first movie, and it doesn't really, there's not really any explanation where this shark comes from. It even says in the film, from that awfully pretentious fucking archaeologist, when the killer whale is washed up on the beach with the big chunks taken out of it, that pretentious fucking marine biologist who I hated in the movie, who is just a condescending bitch towards Chief Brody because he called an orca a fish. He's not a fucking marine biologist. He's not. That's not a fish. That's a mammal. Okay, look, we don't have time for this, lady. There is about to be another bloodbath in the on our beaches here if we don't figure out what the fuck took a bite out of this orca. But yeah, I just really hated that condescending bitch. But yeah, no, back to what I was saying. I honestly really can't come up with something in my mind when it comes to trying to figure out where this shark came from. It's just, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. This shark just shows up. Another shark just shows up out of nowhere. Was it the mate or the girlfriend of the other shark, which would be really silly because, like I said, sharks don't take things personal, so it doesn't make a lot of sense of why another shark just shows up out of nowhere. Another scene I did like, but I had an issue with, the helicopter scene when the guy from the Coast Guard comes and he puts the helicopter on the water, and then the shark comes up and takes a bite out of the whatever the hell that thing is, and brings the helicopter down. And I thought it was awfully weird that the propeller, he's trying to submerge it, and it's turned the helicopter completely sideways, and the propeller is hitting the water, but not once does it hit the shark when the shark is right there. I can't suspend my disbelief with that one. I can't really suspend my disbelief with that one. But you know, Jaws 2 is it's a movie I like. And I know it's a movie that a lot of people love. Like, oh, we love Jaws 2, and it has good reviews and whatnot, and it's fine. I like it. It's fine. It's not my favorite Jaws sequel. My favorite Jaws sequel, like I've said before, Jaws, I don't think ever really needed a sequel. But Jaws 3 is a piece of shit. It is a piece of shit movie. But it's one that I can watch and enjoy and get laughter out of. This, while it does a good job of what it does, it feels like it's trying too hard to be just like the first film. And this feels more like a slasher movie or a monster movie. I mean, this technically does follow the formula of a slasher movie. It's taking out these kids one by one, or for a little bit it's taking people out one by one. But Jaws 1 is more of like an adventure thriller. But Jaws 3, which I will cover probably sometime in the week, is one that I definitely get a lot of enjoyment. But I do like this movie, and if I watch Jaws 1, I definitely feel incentivized to watch Jaws 2 after it. And it's, like I said, it's a movie I do like quite a bit. But I'd have my problems with it. So, I don't know. What did you guys think of my video? What did you guys think of Jaws 2? Do you like Jaws 2? Do you not? Let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'm out. Peace.